Says best way to get into a new field without a degree or prior experience. Then he puts the parentheses marketing for me.
So he wants to go into marketing.
Yep.
Well, the reality is all businesses that exist and do well, there's two things they got to do. Number one is they got to innovate, and number two, they got to market successfully. So if you want to get into marketing, why not find some kind of product or service that you really believe in and find a way to market it on the internet and sell it successfully? And you may find that you don't really want to, if it's doing well enough, you might not want to go work for somebody in marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You just build your own brand, your own business. I mean, I would assume he's probably got a job already, um, because something like marketing, I mean, that's a big field to get into. Are you going to do pay-per-click advertising? Are you going to do TV advertising? Are you going to do commercials? Are you going to do magazine ads, billboard ads? Like, what type of marketing are you going to do, and what types of businesses are you going to do? What kind of specific job duties and tasks is it that you want to do? You got to have some clarity on that instead of just, oh, I want to go into marketing. It's like, well, what does that mean? What does that look like? What do you mean you want to go into marketing? What type of job do you want to do? You want to be an account executive, a sales executive? Do you want to run a marketing company? Do you want to run an advertising agency? Do you want to work for one? What kind of jobs and duties and tasks do you want to do? I mean, marketing at the end of the day is getting your message in front of people that don't know about your business, your product, your service, and people that are likely to be interested in that, and getting them to buy your product or service based on your marketing message. So, you got infomercial format, you got 30-second commercials, you got 5-second commercials, you got 45 seconds, you got 2-minute long ones, you got ones that are under 60 seconds. You have display advertising, which is just like a picture or like little GIFs that change. There's a lot of different facets to that. But at the end of the day, being a successful marketer is being able to get your product and service in front of enough people that like your product or service, and the money that it takes to reach them is less than what you get back, because your revenues need to exceed your expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So, the best way to learn is to market your product or service that you love, that you're interested in. If you want to go, I mean, you can look on Indeed for something like that. There may be a company out there. It's a company in marketing that it says will train. When you look at like example, like companies like Red Bull, everybody's probably seen those Red Bull cars with the Red
Red
Bull
Bull.
can on the top of it, and
Mm-hmm.
and if you've ever seen those driving around, who gets out? Usually two or three really hot looking girls with like a cooler of Red Bull or whatever at events. And so people will go up and go, wow, look at these hot girls or these really handsome dudes, and let me go over and talk to them and get some free Red Bull. And they drink the Red Bull and they associate Red Bull with hot girls and handsome dudes. So, and then usually when you talk to those people, they've majored in marketing. And really what they're doing is kind of modeling and using their attractiveness to help sell somebody else's product.
The good thing is that marketing, you don't really have to go to school for that. You can learn it all online. It's so easy, so simple. You just have to be dedicated, because that's how I got my job in Boca. I'm a social media marketer who works on campaigns and all those ad stuff, and I had no idea how to do it. Never went to school for the marketing part, but I learned it, and they did teach me too. So that's a good thing that you said. Some places may be willing to train you or teach
Yeah, they'll
you.
say will train in the ad. So you
Mm-hmm.
could you could look for stuff like that if you have absolutely no experience. Like when I went into construction management, I got the idea from one of my classmates who he went into to the dean's office, the school of construction management at FIU, and there was an ad posted, back then for Syntex Rooney, for interns. And he got in touch with them. He's like, I'll work for free. I was like, well, we'll pay you minimum wage to start out with. And within 2 or 3 months, he was a hard worker. He showed up on time. He was eager to learn. He was obviously smart. And so they gave him a raise. And then by the time we graduated, he was already a superintendent. And he was working over at the Paradise Island in the Bahamas on building that project. He was a superintendent. And we graduated at the same time. He's a full blown fucking superintendent, a job like that, because he had 2 or 3 years of experience. So if you're willing to spend your time and your effort, and like in my case, I went to work for a company and I worked for free for about 30 days. And then Hurricane Andrew hit and we got all this work. We had 45 homes. We had like 115 condo units to rebuild. And so they needed help. They needed people. So they're like, hey, we'll hire you full time.
Yeah.
Because I had proved myself for free over a course of a month, and I was learning how to be an estimator. And so you can trade your time for experience. And then when they see that you work hard and you do a good job, then they give you a job.
Yeah.
It was like Chunky. We were putting the studio together, and I was talking to Paul and his dad, and we were telling I had my tech guy here, and he's like, hey, you want me to send Chunky by? He's really into audio visual stuff. I was like, yeah, send him over. And he and Adam just like hit it off, and the two of them just worked like maniacs and figured it out. And then I ended up giving him a job. And then afterwards, Paul was like, "Oh, you didn't have to hire him." I was like, "Well, he did such a good job. I needed somebody." He just proved his worth.
Mm-hmm.
As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, "Make yourself necessary to somebody."
When I was 19 or 20, I got hired to sell gutters. This gutter company I thought I would just be somebody that worked in the office that would, handle like somebody going out and who needs to, buy or whatever. No, the man, he hired me on the spot.
Garden gnome gutters.
Yeah, I was like, hired me on the spot to
sales.
go and sell the gutters that they were selling. And I was like, no, that's not what I was looking for. I know. I was like, no, I was looking for more of like an in-office thing, not going around selling gutters.
Knocking on doors, door-to-door sales.
Yeah, and
door-to-door sales is hard. You get a lot of rejection. Sometimes people are nasty to you.
Yeah, and
if you're good at that, you can sell anything.
Well, I used to do stuff on the phone because I used to work for a moving company, like after school, as my friend's mom's company, and I would just do I would get the listings or whatever that people were interested in, and I had this whole little spiel, and I would say that, and then I worked there for like 2 or 3 months, and then the summer happened, but it was just like, it was fun. I just had to say, and then most of the time nobody answered, so I'd leave messages, and I did sell one within the month, so that was good. But yeah, but other than that, it is hard because a lot of people, you have to make a lot of calls, and
you got to get through the no's in order to get the yeses.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a marketer, make a list of 15, 20 companies that you would love to work at marketing wise, and go talk to them. Find out if they got any internships or any positions opening up, or if they're willing to train. That's the important thing. Find a company that's willing to train you.
Mm-hmm.
Like all you guys, this is the first time you work with cameras and stuff professionally. We figured it all out together.
Or you could even go to small brands not brands, but you go to a small company or shop that you see needs work in marketing for a boost. And once you learn your stuff, you can start branching out your name that way. Just show up to like a cafe and be like, hey, you guys seem like you need someone to manage this place. And you might find yourself having multiple little connections. And then
if this guy can sell his own product or service online, then he's got a track record, and so he can go to other business owners and say, hey, I can increase your sales X%. Here's my own company and what we did to sell more candy bars or whatever it was that they were selling.
They trained us that at a young age. The candy bars, and then the books that you would sell, like pretty much like Christmas junk.
Yeah.
And then the wrapping paper. Oh my God. Like kindergarten, they want you to sell candy, the world's finest candy bars.
Yeah, because they know everybody in your family's like, oh, look, a cute kid. I can't say no to a candy
They
bar.
marketed
Or
you.
Girl Scout
Yeah.
cookies. I got to have some of those.
Yeah.
And so your friends and family and your mom calls around, oh, I want her to win the first prize. Will you guys buy some peanut butter cookies or whatever? And so the family helps the kids sell everything, and that's why the companies bank on that, because they know it's not that the kid's going to do all the selling. It's usually the family around them is going
The
to.
cheerleader moms that want to be the
Yeah.
best of
Yeah,
the
exactly.
best.
Oh,
Yeah.
we're in first place.
My kid's
I
gonna
was a
win.
brownie when I was like, before I was, because that's before Girl Scout. It's like a mini Girl
Yeah,
Scout.
I remember.
And
I wonder if they still have brownies.
I don't know.
Never
I was
heard
in
of them.
4-H, and then I did 4-H later on, but then I was in
Do
brownies.
they still have Girl Scouts? Because they did away with the Boy Scouts, and they just call it Scouting now, I think.
What?
Yep.
Oh, I don't
There's
know.
no such thing as Boy
I
Scouts
saw the Girl
anymore.
Scouts the other day.
You did? Supposedly one of the cookies.
So
or
the
something
Girl
like
Scouts
that.
still exist, but the
Yeah.
Boy Scouts don't, because they've been, what is the word?
Genderized.
What do you call that? When you have both genders together? Co-ed.
Co-ed.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just a way to kind of destroy things that were important in the culture. Plus, the other thing is the Boy Scouts had a lot of problems with, can't say the word,
Oh.
the P word. I think they had like $1 billion settlement because there were like hundreds or
Yeah.
thousands of plaintiffs that basically got abused over the years, and they, like the Catholic Church, they covered it up.
That's horrible.
And so because of stuff like that, they were able to do away with Boy Scouts, and they just call it Scouts or Scouting, something like that.
A lot of I feel like the girls.
But yet the girls still got brownies and Girl Scouts.
Yeah, I think the girls are more.
So the
like,
girls are invading boys' activities.
They're ruthless. The boys are like, oh, let's learn how to build a fire. Oh, you got your eagle badge. You spotted an eagle today. And then it's like, well, they learn other stuff too, but I feel like the girls are like, we got to do this. Especially the moms. The moms are like gung ho for, we got to sell these cookies. We got to beat Troop 72.
Women invading men's spaces.
Just like, well, boys need to learn how to be boys, but I also noticed a lot of boys that were in Boy Scouts were kind of like dorky or like
Overweight.
Nerdy.
weak and nerdy, and they're just like, okay.
Well, when I was growing up, it was kind of like that. Because then you got Cub Scouts, and then after the Cub Scouts came the Boy Scouts. And, I had some of the kids I grew up in the neighborhood did that. They were a little dorky.
Yeah.